Welcome to Boundless Freedoms TV show. I'm your host, Deborah Chelette-Wilson, and I'm so glad that you dropped in today. I have a wonderful person that I want you to meet. Her name is Shanna Spence, and she has written a book called The Encouragement Letters that we're going to be talking about today, and I think you're really going to be blessed by it. So, hi, Shannon. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, I, I'm a new writer. Um, I have been an RN for 25 years, so this is something totally outside of my little nursing world. But it's a story that I needed to tell. It was a dream that I had in January 2010. It was a good story because it's relevant to some things today, but the whole spin of it is it's a historical fiction, and it's about a little boy with some trouble. So for me, and for coming from a small town, I wrote poetry. So writing a novella was an eye opener.
Yeah, let me show our reader. This is the book. It's called The Encouragement Letters, the story of a father's legacy and a boy's hope for a better future. And I've read it and I really enjoyed it. I do agree with you. I feel like it is, even though the story is set in Manchester, England in the 1800s, I think it's very, very relevant for today. So this was inspired from a dream?
A dream I had in January of 2010. I woke up about 2 in the morning and wrote my dream down in my dream journal, which I keep beside my bed. So I have several dreams, but this was one that really hit home, and I thought it was a good story to tell.
So tell us a little bit about this little boy and what was going on in his life.
William Cromwell, he was an 11-year-old boy. It was time where the Industrial Revolution, they were in the midst of it. But with the Industrial Revolution came child labor. And it began where a lot of people in the town were losing their jobs, including his own parents. His mother, he had lost his father. His mother was a seamstress and had multi-talents, but she was losing her clients to this new textile factory that came, and he had a lot of trials with his mother losing their bread and butter, so to speak, and so they were barely eating. He didn't have any clothes, education, well, at that time, because the kids were leaving school and work. He just had a whole lot going on in his 11-year-old life.
Now, he was very, though, from what I remember reading, he was really a smart young little boy for being 11, because he found ways to work. He found ways to help his mother when she had her illness. He stepped up to the plate and helped her. He worked with his uncle. And one of the things I found really heartwarming about this story is how the people in the community, even though it was difficult for them as well during this time, because it was a big transition from what they were used to the industrial age. And the people in the community, though, stepped up to the plate and were very helpful to him, giving him food. And I mean, he worked things out for them because he didn't want just a handout. He wanted to earn his way. And I think that's a really big message that today's youth is missing. And I think your story offers young readers that inspiration that he gave in the book.
Yes, he wanted to give encouragement to the town because he knew everybody, even though they were having hard times, they helped, and in turn he wanted to help them. And to me, that's a sense of community. That's what a community's for. And even it was a growing town, so there was a lot of strangers coming in. So they kind of stuck together to help each other through the hardships. But he took it upon himself to write these letters, so hence the encouragement letters, so that he could go ahead and encourage the town to don't give up, continue with your trade, and eventually that it's going to all work out.
And his willingness to do that was based on the inspiration that he received from letters his dad had written to him. And even he found a letter from his grandfather. And it was, it showed a pattern of a very helpful pattern that was kind of passed down in his family of encouragement.
Yes. Yes, and he didn't want to, that was a legacy, and he didn't want that to die. He wanted to go ahead and continue it.
And what I also liked, he didn't run from the problems. He faced them even though they were difficult, and at the same time moved beyond them. He didn't get stuck in them. And again, I think, that's a reflection that the town, the community, the people, it wasn't the whole town, but it was a few people in the community surrounded him and his mother and were helpful to him.
Yeah, and what I also liked, the story, or it was my dream, the story was, he didn't say, woe is me, or, he didn't lay down and try to be the victim of circumstance. He rose above it, and the people that are mentioned in the book did the same as well. And so they were all kind of encouraging each other to, and there were times, don't get me wrong, there were times where he felt like, oh my goodness, I can't take much more, and, and wanted to give up. But then he would look around and so-and-so had it worse than him. And he was like, no, I can't, I gotta work through this. But he was striving the whole time to find that fix. Like you were saying, working, he wasn't opposed to going to work in the factory, even though they were long hours and taken away from his sick mother. So he wanted to, to help. Right.
Well, and that's, the community, I think that's one of the challenges of us living in this day and time, is that we're in a transition again. Our technology, again, has advanced, and it's a struggle for a lot of people. People are losing their jobs again because they're disappearing. It's not like they're still there. They're completely disappearing. However, new jobs are being created. So it's, again, whether or not people, like his mother mentioned to him, we've got to learn how to go with the changes. So being willing to be adaptive is really a story of humanity that has reoccurred throughout history. And it's like we're experiencing it again. Instead of, reading history about it, we're in that experience, and his story is encouraging for us, I think, even today.
I agree. Like you were saying, with our technology, it's taking the place of so many jobs. We got robots checking cash, that are cashiers now. The changes are ever, evolving, and the Industrial Revolution were these new machines that were coming in. So yes, it's going to be a timeless story, which I'm just thankful that I had this dream, because history, like you said, repeats itself, and so this is something we can come back to.
Mm-hmm. Well, so how can people find out more about you and the work you're doing, and how to get the encouragement letters?
Well, the encouragement letters, Amazon.com, and you can type in the encouragement letters. Also, Barnes & Noble will carry my book. If you order from them, they will ship it to you. And if you want an ebook, you can go to Amazon and do a Kindle version as well. You can do Twitter. You can Twitter at author S. Spence. And then I have a Facebook page that's author Shanna Spence. And then last but not least, I have a website, and it's www.spenceshanna.wixsite.com. I know that's a mouthful, but I do some blogs and encouragement, some encouraging blogs on there to keep the inspiration going.
Okay, well, Shanna, thank you so much for visiting with me today and allowing our authors, our watchers to be able to find out about a new author and what you're doing and about this very neat dream that's so timeless that you had that you were able to put into words. So looking forward, do you have anything else in the works that you're writing on?
Yes, I have another dream that I had in January of 2018, and it is also a historical fiction. Go figure. It's these timeless stories that need to be told. And this one's about Caddo Indian, and the title is The Caddo Stone. So be looking for that if you wanted to, follow me, and I'll be giving hints of what it's going to be about.
Okay. Do you have any kind of date when the book will be released?
No, I've just finished up my research on the Caddo Indians, so it's now just putting the pen to paper and making the time. So I don't have a deadline. I'd like to put a deadline, but being a busy mother and also working, it's hard to get these deadlines met if I really put a hard deadline on it.
Well, thank you again so much for being with us today. This is again Deborah Chelette-Wilson with Boundless Freedoms, where I love interviewing people who are finding the road to freedom for themselves in their creative expression and then blessing us with the results. So we'll sign off for now, and we'll talk to you soon.